especially during the pandemic, people were looking for and still are looking for natural ways to prevent getting sick, which I think was the biggest shift is preventative rather than curative. And that's what mushrooms really represent for us as well, is keeping your body maintained and optimized at its, best functioning level. And that's so cool for us, is that you can, protect your brain from neurodegenerative diseases, keep your body healthy. It's like, why wouldn't you be taking these? So hi, I'm Stephanie Moyal, and I'm the co-founder of Troop.
I'm Jake Mellman, and I'm also the co-founder of Troop and Stephanie's cousin.
We were super excited to be on today's episode. We talked about our company, the mushroom industry, exciting places we see it going.
The health benefits of functional mushrooms, what you can expect to feel from functional mushrooms, and just really cool facts about the mushroom industry.
Yeah, so stay tuned. Thank you so much for listening and for watching on Everforward Radio. We know you're going to love it.
So we're here to talk about many of my favorite things, but really the mushroom kingdom, with two experts, advocates, and just, do we have a word yet for like stark raving mycologist or...
Yeah,
mycologist would be more of like a mushroom scientist.
Mycophile, maybe.
Yeah.
Well, please, introduce yourself and what are we here to talk about and what are you so passionate about these days?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I'm Stephanie.
And I'm Jake.
And we're the co-founders of Troop, Daily Mushroom Gummies. Just a quick little intro. Jake and I are cousins, so we go way back.
Oh, okay. So literally keeping it in the family. I like that. All right.
Yes.
Also family business, which is very cool.
Yeah. We started Troop during the pandemic, and it was a really interesting time, of course, for everyone. And the day the pandemic hit, Jake got in a really bad ski accident, and I got furloughed from my job in hospitality. And like most people, we were afforded this gift of time, if you want to look at it that way. But I ended up moving in with Jake and his family and helping take care of his leg. And we just became so immersed with health and wellness and researching about mushrooms. And
after we binged Netflix for one straight month.
It was about the time I think Fantastic Fungi.
Yes.
Exactly. Yeah, that actually really kicked up the passion a lot.
Yeah.
Honestly.
In terms of like your rehab, or just you were just soaking up all new information?
I was doing the rehab and everything, and I was like laid up. I had a broken leg. And Stephanie and I we binged Netflix for a month, and then we started to get that urge to be productive. And then we watched, she had already watched it and been on the path, and I watched Fantastic Fungi, and she was like, do you want to grow mushrooms with me? And I was like, yes. They're like, let's do it. So we started growing lion's mane in my closet, like literally in my closet. And
I grew it in my kitchen.
It's awesome. Yeah. And so it was just so cool. And we got really lucky because we did everything wrong, and we still got an awesome grow
yield.
Awesome yield. And it went phenomenally. And we were that was it. We were hooked at that point. And then we were what do we do with this product? And
we felt like we, first of all, had so much fun learning about mushrooms, and it was so interesting for us. And we kind of felt like we had tapped in to this kind of secret that not many people were talking about. And when you're on the coast, LA, New York, you kind of get more of that health information and the whispers.
For sure, yeah.
And his mom religiously shops at Erewhon. So we had been...
She knows.
Yeah, she knows.
She knows, yeah. She was on this path.
She was pumping us with mushrooms.
Yeah, so she was already mushrooms. And I was so not a believer. I was like, mushrooms, what? I don't, what do you mean?
Especially lion's mane, that one.
Yeah, that's our favorite.
One of the first, me too, probably.
Yeah.
It was one of the first ones I ever tried. And it's one of the most notable, immediately notable experiences, whether you're taking a supplement, a food, mushrooms are food, but in the mushroom kingdom, it's just in a matter of minutes, you're just like, wow.
You get that buzz.
That buzz.
It's real.
Yeah, exactly, it is real. Yeah.
It's a tangible feeling, which is it's awesome.
Super cool.
Yeah.
So you guys got rolling during the pandemic. And it's pretty wild to hear that this happened so quickly. I love, we've had so many guests on the show before to where, you experience something, whether it's just an interest, you're binging Netflix, or you suffer, your health and wellness suffers, your physical self, mental, emotional, whatever. And then you have an experience that you're like, no, I can't keep this to myself. I gotta get it out there.
Yeah.
That wasn't that long ago. So you went from barely hearing about this stuff, if hearing about it at all, to educate, self-education, consumer, advocate, and now
business owners
out of it.
Yeah.
How did this happen so quickly?
Well, Stephanie. Stephanie's a machine, an absolute machine when it comes to operations. So things moved very quickly, and we were, like we said, extremely passionate about this. Like, we really felt like we came across this ancient secret that was starting, like the whispers were beginning, and we were like, we need to get out there and get to the market. And we actually originally were going to launch almost a year before we actually launched was our plan, because
actually I had gone to my friend's house and was talking to him about, our ideas, and his dad was there, and I just started kind of shooting the shit with his dad. And he's like, you need to run, not walk. And I called Jake after. I was like, holy shit, like, we got to get going on this.
Sounds like another entrepreneur.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, for sure. And so he really inspired us. And we went like, so after we were growing the mushrooms, we were kind of like, what do we do with all of this? Like, we want a way to be able to share this with people in a way that we find approachable and convenient and delicious, something that's fun for us. And Jake had the idea of making gummies. And so we tried making gummies, and they were so bad. They were awful. I'll never forget. We gave them to our friend to try. And then days later, she messaged me a photo, and they were covered in mold. She's like,
just a couple of days. Wow.
Yeah, because we had no idea that they needed to cure.
Yeah, they need to dry.
Yeah, they need to dry. So we just gave them wet gummies in a plastic bag.
First lesson. There you go.
First huge lesson. And after that, we just kept going. And then we also ended up hiring a gummy scientist. We scoured the internet. Didn't really know this profession existed.
Never heard of it either.
Yeah. It's a real profession.
Found someone amazing who, in the universe is crazy, because we found him just on LinkedIn, random, paid him as an independent contractor kind of thing. And our manufacturer that we're moving to in December randomly hired him as their head of gummy manufacturing.
Wow, no way.
Which is so crazy. Out of all the companies, all the people, just aligned so well for us.
Yeah, absolutely.
Exactly. We got our first viable product. We started sharing it with people. People were loving it. And we were just getting such positive feedback from it. And especially during the pandemic, people were looking for, and still are looking for, natural ways to prevent getting sick, which I think was the biggest shift, is preventative rather than curative. And that's what mushrooms really represent for us as well, is keeping your body maintained and optimized at its, best functioning level. And that's so cool for us, is that you can, protect your brain from neurodegenerative diseases, keep your body healthy. It's like, why wouldn't you be taking these? Let's
go down that rabbit hole a little bit.
Yeah.
If we can. So in this self-exploration, and now running a company that provides this for people, what are you finding, and what are you putting out there the most? Let's start with lion's mane.
Yeah.
Is this something really that new, or are we just kind of dusting off a lot of known benefits about this product, about this food for humans, from the centuries?
Yeah, I would definitely say a bit of both on that, more the latter, in that these mushrooms have been used for thousands of years in cultures all around the world. So they've been proven anecdotally to work by so many different cultures. And only now we're starting to bring our Western science into it, and doing the research and doing the studies and actually finding evidence for these things that, different cultures have been saying for thousands of years.
Yeah. So what are we seeing most in lion's mane? Like what is the research you're finding and sharing with, your lion's mane?
Well, my favorite is that it's preventing, there's studies are showing that it can help prevent diseases like dementia and Alzheimer's and Parkinson's.
The neurodegenerative diseases.
Yeah, neurodegenerative diseases.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And that actually hits really close to home for us, because that runs in our family.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. I'm sorry to hear that.
Yeah. So that was something, a product that we were really excited to create, because if you can do something at an early age to help prevent that, that can change your life and your family's life. So that's our favorite feature. Also, lion's mane helps with gut health, inflammation, and tons of other benefits as well. So it's a really exciting mushroom for us to be working with, which is why we dedicated a specific product to that just one mushroom. Yeah.
It's pretty powerful.
It is, yeah.
Like I said earlier, it's it's definitely one that you can just immediately take and feel. But I had no idea, outside of the functional properties, how using it as a culinary mushroom is so wild too. I grew some lion's mane at home a couple months ago, and just these massive heads,
fluff balls,
brains,
just this mane growing outside of this bag, and you rip it off. I would just pull some shreds off and like immediately just eat it raw. And it just was so good. Tastes kind of like if you have like a really good imitation crab meat, or kind of has like that seafood consistency.
Exactly.
But then throwing it in, sauteing it with some butter, some olive oil, some seasoning, like as a topper to my steak, or cooking it up as its own lion's mane steak was just floored. So I feel like we're kind of getting function and culinary out of just, many of the mushrooms.
We love that. Yeah. And restaurants all around the world are using lion's mane as well. Really high-end restaurants, I see it on their menus, and it's so cool to see.
Cordyceps, actually. I saw Cordyceps for the first time out. I was at Conservatory restaurant here in West Hollywood.
I really like that place.
They had a steak with, instead of like onion rings, fried on top, they had cordyceps.
No way.
Whoa.
Yeah, like
that's
sauteed.
cool.
I've never seen
it. Yeah, me either. That's
so
super cool.
Get, had a great steak, and then great little boost of energy.
Wow.
And it just had a great consistency.
Yeah.
Moving on, I guess, typically cordyceps they're one of the most bitter. They're not that great tasting. So they kind of have it in a culinary version that was really good. Was great. I mean, we're seeing now so many other people learn different ways to get it out there, but also to get it, to kind of be more appealing. Because I'm curious if you guys found this in your trek. Mushrooms are an immediate turnoff for a lot of people. Flavor, consistency, or just like non-belief.
Yeah, 100%.
And then that's actually like really guided our company, honestly. Like before we launched, we looked at all the products on the market. And everything, first of all, there were no gummies at that time, like when we started. And
true. Yeah. I remember finding you guys in Troop, and I've heard of gummies and other, like cannabis products and other forms, vitamins and melatonin.
Exactly.
But not really in any mushroom.
There were no mushroom gummies at all. And everyone was all the products were very like ceremonial and like dark greens and browns and like the earth and mystical. So we were kind of like, we kind of did like tests with our friends even. And, my friends were like, I'm not going to take mushrooms. Like, I'm not like a mystic or in a tribe or anything like that.
I'm not a shaman.
Yeah, exactly. And so we're like, damn, we need to we want to make something that people want to try and they want to take. So was another part of why we went with the gummy. And our branding is so colorful and poppy. Everything about our brand is bright colors and transparency. Like our bottles are transparent so that when no one else has transparent bottles, so that you can see in the bottle what the gummies look like and that they look delicious and they look friendly, they look approachable. So when people see it, they want to eat it. They want to try these mushroom products, where we feel that that's something that we're trying to shift in the market.
Yeah.
I think it's definitely a barrier for most, I'll just say hardcore quote, health foods. When you're looking at something that's we can have it all on the label, we can have all the studies, but unless you're just fully committed to, I'm doing this because I know what it does for my body, whether you're a brand new person kind of just changing your health behaviors, or even someone like ourselves, or I'll just use me as an example. I've been on my wellness journey. There's no question.
Yeah, no question you did.
I've been on my wellness journey of diving into all the health things for like 17 to 18 years now. And
it's amazing.
And it is. It's wild. Every day I'm learning something new and applying it. But I still feel like even with me, someone who's maybe 2 decades into their wellness journey, you find something and what it's going to do for you. The health benefits it has for the here and the now and the longevity, but that taste or
100%.
the texture, and just like to your point, when you look at a product, whether it's just raw in Mother Nature or how it's grown or created or whatever, than something that's maybe, synthesized and produced. It's just like, it has to look appealing.
Yeah,
absolutely.
So it's wild to hear that, and obvious, I guess, but no one's done it really yet. Of how to take some of the most healthy things and make it actually appealing for people.
Yeah. We live in a time now where, you can't really sacrifice anything to be healthier. Like you shouldn't have to. And that's what, when you go to,
you shouldn't have to.
Yeah. And when you go to stores like Whole Foods or Erewhon and you see all of these functional beverages and functional snacks, you don't have to get a Chips Ahoy cookie. You can get a relatively healthy chocolate chip cookie with adaptogens in it or something like that.
Yeah.
And there's all these drinks, all these teas, sparkling water. I mean, it's absolutely crazy what has happened to the health food industry, even over the last 5 years, just the innovation and development. It's so cool to see.
What are you guys seeing being any barriers to entry now? You've kind of taken this product, taking mushrooms and putting a more approachable spin on it. There's less barrier to entry there, which is so important for anyone and everyone, like I was saying, on their health behavior change, their wellness journey. Are there still any sticking points? People are like, all right, it looks good, tastes good, I feel good, I know the science is there, but what does it take to really finally get somebody to be a mushroom believer?
Well, first of all, everyone thinks, not everyone, but most people, when they see these, they think that they're psychedelic. So we always have to tell people that they're not. And a lot of
colorful mushrooms.
Gummies.
And post the whole like THC cannabis revolution. Everyone just hears mushroom gummies and everyone's like, edibles?
Oh, it's an edible.
How are you selling this online? For like, well,
how many do I have to take?
Yeah, exactly.
No, someone actually asked me that. If I eat the whole bottle, will I trip? I said, no.
I've had some high dose lion's mane before, and you're not tripping.
No, but
your brain is on. Your brain is on. Absolutely.
Yeah, and it does help you feel focused. So you're just kind of like, holy shit.
Yeah, and I said, well, they're non-toxic, so give it a try. Go tell me what happens.
I do remember we did an event at Equinox once, and it was after this workout class, and everyone was coming and mingling with all the brands, and I was, educating people about mushrooms. And this is in Century City. So people, you would think know a lot about health and wellness. A lot of people didn't know about mushrooms, so it was cool to educate them. But there was this one guy who just refused to try it, and I was probing. I was like, do you mind telling me why?
What's the hesitation?
Yeah, and he's like, I don't touch mushrooms. I'm like, oh yeah, but these aren't psychedelic. He's like, I know, but still, like, I have a really hard line. And I said, okay, well, can I ask you something? Do you get mushrooms on your pizza? And he said yes, and I was like. I know. So I said, we use culinary mushrooms in these products. Yeah. And he's like, I'm sorry, I won't try it. And so I walked away, and that was a really big moment for me, because I said, not every single person is going to want to try, but then all of these other people tried it. So for me, it was just kind of a really good learning experience that, there's only so many people, but. There is.
And, kind of keeping with the exercise theme, Cordyceps are one of my favorite ones that I use in the gym, or if I'm going to be active, on a hike, or I'll use it as a pre-workout, use it as a post-workout. Actually, the more I began to use Cordyceps, I realized that while they do have incredible energetic effects, vasodilation, increases nitric oxide production, all the things that you want to have a good amount of, but more is better if you're going to be physically active. Actually, in post-workout, we were joking earlier, everything's in post-production. In recovery. Having that maximized vasodilation and increased oxidation or oxygen flowing in the blood is great for replenishing. You actually begin recovery faster. So maybe he should have tried Cordyceps.
I know.
I got a great all-natural pre-workout and recovery agent all in one.
And we do use Cordyceps in our Super Troop. So... it's his loss.
What's you guys take on Cordyceps? How are you applying it? What maybe is some feedback you're getting? Or Cordyceps, like I was saying earlier, is kind of, it's not the tastiest one. Right. So that hurdle might have been a little bit more tricky, no?
Well, I could talk about the extraction.
Yeah, sure, go ahead.
Yeah, so for us, we dual extract our mushrooms when we use the fruiting body. And when you taste the extractions, they're very bitter. So that was a huge challenge for us, was overcoming the bitterness and the flavor of the mushroom extraction. So we went through so many different variations, really nailing down the flavor. And it's really important for us, like we said, health without sacrifice. So getting the flavor was of the utmost importance. And we did nail it. I know we nailed it.
That's in our Super Troop product, and it's strawberry passion fruit flavored, and it's definitely a contender for the best flavor.
Yeah.
Honestly,
they're all delicious. But we love Cordyceps, and we've really seen the popularity of Cordyceps grow from when we started. At first, it was really lion's mane and reishi, and that's kind of why we did those two SKUs, because that was what people were really looking for. And then we did a 6 mushroom blend, which includes lion's mane, reishi, and Cordyceps, and then 3 other mushrooms. Maitake, chaga, and turkey tail. And we definitely are going to do a cordyceps gummy as our next SKU just because we love it so much. And it really tailors to a great demographic who's into health and wellness is
the fitness community.
The fitness community. And they're asking for it too. They're like, when are you going to have cordyceps gummy?
Yeah.
Another new way I've been loving cordyceps is on flights, actually. I've been kind of biohacking more of my flight routines.
Smart.
And
Nice.
for the last several years, I will never not travel in these compression socks. And
I've just heard about these.
Unreal.
Yeah.
The gradual compression socks. Shout out Comrade socks.
I just got an Instagram ad for those. I need to get them.
I've been loving them for like 4 years. And I mean, just increases energy, blood flow, circulation. It's one of those things when you change something in your health behaviors, you didn't know how bad you actually felt until you have this new introduction. Totally. And I didn't realize how much, we're just talking about socks, but whatever, like how I could just completely sit still. So I had no like restless legs. I didn't feel the need to get up or like stretch as much as possible or as much as I used to, but it's really the after. Cause you're just increasing blood flow and circulation, which leads me into, cordyceps. Not like a high dose or even like amount I would use in like a pre-workout, but just having a little bit just to kind of boost the socks, basically. Yeah. Improve blood flow.
Yeah. Nice. Yeah. I use reishi on flights.
Oh, that's a great one too. Great, calming.
So literally I can feel like myself being centered and calmed, and
reishi for me is like a warm internal hug.
Yeah, exactly.
It's just as on as you get with lion's mane and noticeable, I guess the yang. Yeah. The yin is going to be reishi. It's just exactly. It's like taking a deep breath, but inside out. Yeah. If that makes any sense.
Totally.
So please, can you dive deeper for that one for us? And why would somebody maybe be interested in reishi?
Yeah, sure. I'll talk about my experience first, but it was kind of funny because like Stephanie said, we were going through so many iterations, and actually the reishi gummy was a challenging one. Because the reishi flavor is really strong. So we had a lot of iterations of the reishi flavor. So all of the extra gummies that we were not going to use were all in my house. So I was eating them all the time, like all the time, like 6 a day at least.
Guys getting lit over it.
And I was like really starting to feel this amazing, like you said, this internal hug and this calming effect that I was like so blown away with. I mean, like I knew the science, I heard the anecdotal evidence, and just to feel it myself, I was like, wow, this was really, really special.
Proof. Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah.
And also just to add to that, that's one of our SKUs that we get the most feedback on is people telling us that they're having such amazing sleep and not feeling groggy in the morning.
That's when I first started taking it, was for sleep.
Yeah.
It naturally lowers cortisol. When you think about that. I mean, whether you're trying to go to sleep or just take a breath during the middle of the day, it's incredible. So no wonder you feel like you can just lower your arms a little bit.
Yeah,
exactly.
Breath. You have literally less stress, less cortisol in your body. Yeah.
And what I love about reishi too is that it doesn't make you tired necessarily. It just kind of like calms you from the inside out.
Yeah.
And then, so you could take reishi in the middle of the day and not fall asleep versus, people want to compare it to a melatonin. Melatonin will make you tired and drowsy.
Literally kind of knock you out.
Yeah. Right. Versus reishi, it doesn't do that, but it just helps your body calm so you can therefore sleep.
Yeah, because most people can't sleep because of anxiety. And then it reduces your anxiety, and then you sleep. Like you actually have an anxiety-free sleep. Yeah.
And non-habit forming. Every anecdotal and clinical evidence I've read about really all of these mushrooms, functional mushrooms, is that they're non-habit forming. Yeah. Which, to your point, a lot of people who take melatonin, I mean, it can be a bad thing. I won't even say like long-term, like kind of medium term. Yeah. It just really quickly lowers your body's natural production of melatonin. Then you get hooked on it. You got to take more. You've got kind of that hangover effect, but not with reishi.
Yeah, exactly.
New studies are also showing melatonin is really not good for like women's reproductive systems.
Really? Oh, wow.
Yeah. So that's all coming out now too. Because, I think we were just pumping this stuff out. And,
they're like, it's natural. Take it.
Right.
But your body makes it anyway.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. The same thing. Once you start messing with, hormones and all that, I mean, it's a slippery slope into how many more problems are you going to create for yourself, for sure.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But reishi is another one that has, I think someone's going to fact check me, but the most clinical evidence behind it.
I was going to say that.
Studies, I think. Yeah,
it's true.
And a lot of autoimmune diseases, cancer, longevity.
Yep.
I'm not advocating for this, but I've seen a lot of people taking very, very high doses of reishi. I believe it, kind of coupled with turkey tail and chaga, these high immune boosting, really, I shouldn't say immune boosting, but like auto regulation, auto regulation, and really kind of just avoiding chemotherapy and, really bouncing back from cancer way quicker, just severe autoimmune diseases, whether they are just in a sustainment or they're actually completely cleared of the disease just from Mother Reishi, or is it Queen
of Mushrooms.
Mushroom of immortality.
Yeah.
That's what it was called in ancient China.
I think, it was China. I think that it was like sort of kind of form of currency. It was like that potent. And it was only for like royalty.
Like that.
Yeah, it was
Same
for royalty.
with ancient Egypt as well. It was only for the royalty.
Let that think in for a second. Think in for a second. Like the listener, the viewer, like just these things are so powerful and have such immense health benefits that whether, right or wrong, a lot of things back then in hierarchies were definitely right and wrong, but, only safe for the elite, like only the queen, the king, like certain classes could have it. And then, even at a level to where it's exchanged for goods and services, like we're not making this shit up. That's insane.
Yeah. It's pretty cool.
I would love to go back to actually something you said about your creation process, the extraction process.
Yeah.
Because, there are a lot of mushroom companies popping up.
Yeah.
Sprouting up, if you will. And I do see a lot of differentiation in the fine print of where this mushroom is actually coming from, how it's grown. Now I see a lot of kind of mudslinging on, it's just grown on a bunch of oats floating in a tank versus how it's naturally supposed to. So can you break us down, please? What is this extraction process that you mentioned earlier? Why is that the method you have chosen? And what should someone really be looking for when they're looking for products in the way that it's made and extracted? Yeah,
absolutely. So that was something that we really took a deep dive down. There's the fruiting body of the mushroom, which is the mushroom that grows above the ground. And then there's the mycelium of the mushroom, which is the underground root system of the mushroom. And a lot of products that are out there will be using the mycelium. So when you grow the mycelium, it grows on grain. And so there's a lot of starch that comes with it. And while there are beneficial properties of the mycelium for sure, but when it's mixed in with so much starch, a lot of companies are selling you mostly starch-based products. So the fruiting body of the mushroom is where a lot and most of the bioavailable compounds are. And your body can't digest it just by eating it. You have to extract out the compounds. So you need alcohol and hot water extraction to extract out all of the compounds that will benefit your body.
That's the dual extraction process I hear from the ones that I prefer. At least.
Totally. So we were looking, where do we source these mushrooms? And it's actually pretty difficult. There's not a lot of suppliers that you can get from in the United States for all of the mushrooms that we use. And so that was really important to us. We wanted our mushrooms grown in the US to not only support the United States, but also because there's way better manufacturing and growing standards of growing mushrooms than there are in, let's say, China, where, they have a lot of pollution problems and lead and lead in the water. So
heavy metals.
Heavy metals.
And mushrooms, are 90% water. So when they absorb all that water, they pull in all of those
everything in the water
heavy metals, and then they, when you suck all the water out, those things stay in the mushroom. So we definitely was very important to have American grown
mushrooms. And also we wanted to make sure that they were sustainably cultivated and organically cultivated. So we get all of our mushrooms from small craft farms, mostly in the Pacific Northwest.
Oh, wow, nice.
And then we work with an extractor in Oregon who extracts everything for us. And then we put them into our gummies like that.
Okay.
So it was a really long process. And when we were looking into making our gummies, there's gummy companies out there that will help you make it. And I was asking them, where do you get your mushrooms, and send me all your specs? And they had no idea where they were getting the mushrooms from. So that to me was a huge red flag. I want to know where my mushrooms are coming from. I want the spec sheets on them. I want the test results. I want to know that these are premium products that we're, that we're putting into our gummies.
And third-party testing.
Third-party tested,
always advocate, and, especially in the supplement industry, that's, when companies don't have that, or, to the person who is purchasing something and they don't see it or don't even know to look for it. Really, really kind of big oversight there. It might be, something might benefit you, probably will, but just the potential trade-off for, you know, what's really in there, or in this case, what's not in there.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what you want to see.
Yeah, totally. And I mean, we get everything tested. Like that's so important to us. It's really, you know, having this product that we are so proud to stand behind. So that was probably the biggest factor that went into it. And then afterwards it was the taste.
Yeah. And then on the taste side, we, you know, even went further. We use all natural fruit flavors,
colors,
nothing like artificial, just because we wanted every single piece of
not
this
to
gummy.
undo all the work that
exactly.
Yeah, because we've seen other companies come out, like some small company came out with a mushroom gummy that had corn syrup, and we're like, why would you?
Yeah, I know.
I just don't understand. Why would you take a health supplement surrounded in corn syrup? It just didn't make any sense to me.
It's like when I walk down any aisle, you know, Target or health foods, and I see, I mean, gummies have become so popular over the last several years in terms, you know, melatonin, daily multivitamins, you know, collagen. And then, you know, I look at the ingredients, and the second thing is sugar, glucose, corn syrup. I'm like, come on, like you might have these other potential health benefits in this product, but just why you're starting off, like the next ingredient, highest level in the ingredients list, order from highest amount to lowest, is something that just you don't want to do any more of. Yeah. Which is unfortunate, again, for the consumer. I kind of keep bringing that back here, is that whether you're 20 years in your wellness journey or brand new, there are certain things that just, unless you know to look for, you're just like taking one step forward, two steps back. Yeah. Objectively, how would you all kind of describe this new movement or this new surge in the mushroom movement in terms of awareness, education, products? Are we putting our best foot forward, or are we kind of doing the one step forward, two steps back thing?
That's a good question.
I think,
Well, it's a little tough to be objective, but I'll do my best.
If we need to bleep anything out or anybody else out, it's fine. But the industry as a whole.
Yeah, I think it's honestly really cool to see what's happening. I think, you know, when you look at other superfoods that have exploded, like kale, for instance, I feel like that was kind of a burst that simmered down after. But I really don't see that happening for the mushroom industry, because there's so many different applications for mushrooms and there's so many different health benefits. Yeah. And
so much variety too.
So much variety. I mean, look at, I don't know if you saw, but Michael Works just came out with the reishi bucket hat. It's like $800, but and they're doing leather for Mercedes and Hermes, and and mushrooms are now meat replacements. So like my mushrooms are going to be massive.
We're going beyond just a functional mushroom and culinary. We're tapping into clothing,
shoes,
packaging. Mycelium packaging is going to be massive. Give it time, but
like mycelium based blocks that are more fire retardant than wood and stronger and lighter. I mean, like the mushroom industry as a whole is so massively diverse.
I need to start growing more than just my one block of lion's mane. Yeah. Damn. Okay.
Yeah. How I like to put it, and this was another reason that we kind of got so passionate about the mushroom industry as a whole, is like people think, like when you say mushrooms, they think there's like 2 poisonous mushrooms, 1 psychedelic, and then 1 you put on your pizza. But there are currently 14,000 discovered species of fungi. And there's some experts believe 3 to 5 million undiscovered. It's to the point where it's so undiscovered that amateur mycologists are discovering new mushrooms in their backyards, like every day. They're just going in their backyards, discovering one that's never been discovered. Damn. So as many as there are plants, there are mushrooms. So it's like as if our culture is discovering plants for the first time. And we're like, this plant does this and this plant does this. This is like the kind of revolution that I see it as.
So is that why you kind of have some hesitation around the industry right now? Is because as there's so much new literal life yet to be discovered, having that surge in application, like we're not giving enough time for the education or understanding, or is it just latching on to a trending thing and trying to put it everywhere? I mean, what's the real kind of hesitation there?
Well, I actually don't have hesitation.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh.
No, I mean, I don't know if you do, but I don't.
So it's excitement.
Yeah, it's a lot of excitement. Cool. Yeah. And I think, one of the most exciting things about working in this industry is the challenge that not many people know about mushrooms. So how do we convey and how do we educate people in a way that they want to learn that these mushrooms,
it's a huge opportunity and a huge challenge.
Yeah.
Because
people have the attention span of a goldfish.
Yeah.
Which I think is actually true.
Yeah, need more lines, man.
Yeah.
They do. They do.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So, I mean, what do you see being, okay, so we've talked about functional mushrooms, some health benefits. We talked about culinary aspects, kind of diving deeper into the other applications there. Why then should someone care about it? If we're sitting in a mushroom chair, is that going to be any better for, I don't know, maintaining the color on our clothes? Is it going to be a more sustainable option for making clothing, for accessories? Is it going to have economic impact? I mean, we're getting really kind of all over the place, but
I love this.
This is, kind of keeping the health behavior approach in mind. I found, especially back when I was in clinic, I was a clinical health coach for many years.
Yeah.
And that was really kind of a little like backdoor when I could bring something up or help one of my clients, help one of my patients really latch onto something completely away from the obvious. Well, if you do this, if you eat this or don't do this or don't eat that, then your health will improve. It's almost like you got to find this most random way around to just present them like, oh yeah, okay, cool. I'll try it because of that reason.
Yeah, right.
Does that make sense?
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think sustainability. I think this is going to really fuel the mushroom revolution as well.
Sustainability, regenerative farming.
Yeah.
I kind of mash those up together a little
100%.
bit.
Yeah. Just
it's one of the most sustainable crops to grow.
Yeah. Maybe the most. And so it's the sustainability applications are so incredibly numerous. There was a study done where there was like this pile of ocean trash.
No. It was oil. It was oil.
And
pile of oil.
There was an oil spill, and Paul Stamets was involved in this experiment, and they took and they took out a bunch of the like waste, the material, and they made these different piles, and they were all, the experiment was like, who can turn this into something good, essentially. And he injected the pile of waste with oyster mushroom spores, and it created life. The mushrooms grew, and obviously you're not going to eat these mushrooms, right? But
they absorbed
they absorbed the oil, and then that attracted life because the mushrooms sporulated, and then it created this kind of ecosystem that you would see in nature.
The other piles, like they reduced the oil a little bit, still completely dead, and like
reduced the oil spill. Then
turned it into life.
Because mushrooms are known as basically the digestive system of the earth.
So are we gonna start seeing on every oil rig out in the ocean? We've got hazmat suits, fire hydrant, fire extinguisher, and
spore
a bag
syringes.
Of spores.
Hopefully.
In case of spill, dump on.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know where they've taken it since that. I was actually wondering, and I need to look into that. But that was really incredible to see. Yeah.
Yeah, and then just the other aspects of using mycelium instead of, for clothing. If you can use mycelium, it's completely biodegradable. Since we're having this fast fashion massive issue right now.
Yeah.
And cardboard too for packaging.
Yeah, packaging. There's just so many applications that we can,
It's mind blowing.
Yeah, it's so cool.
Yeah.
It's fun. Actually, I got a quick little story as we kind of begin to wind down. Cardboard packaging, blue oyster mushroom spores. So I got this kit at home from this company, Smallhold. And that's the lion's mane kit that I grew.
Yeah.
Well, I just completely missed or spaced out that there was a second box of blue oysters. And I just put it in. I have a little closet in my kitchen dining room area where I put, a lot of my like excess supplements or, anything kind of just like in holding my packages. I'm like, I'll get to it later. Well, I forgot about it. And I was boarding a plane maybe a couple of weeks ago. My wife called me. She's like freaking out. I'm like, baby, I'm about to board. What's up? Is everything okay? And she's like, look at your phone. Look at your text right now. Hang up. Look at your text. She sent me this video. She was like sweeping up some stuff. There's like this dust film. And I thought like a protein tub powder kind of like burst or something. And there was like this powder film everywhere. She was sweeping, got down to the source underneath one of the shelves. she thought like it was the upside down from Stranger Things. This massive like side angle blue oyster there was another box, completely missed it, had busted through the packaging, the plastic, grew outside of the cardboard box, and was just growing like just this massive diagonal. And the powder was the spores.
So spores, yeah.
And so she's like, I was going out of town for like 3-4 days.
You're leaving
like,
with this?
You're leaving me here with this monster going in the closet. There's mushroom spores everywhere. I was like, it's fine. Like, it's not toxic. I wouldn't eat it. It's been, I don't know how long it's been in there.
Yeah.
But, I mean, just that's another example of just how much these things are supporting life and creating life in a box, in a plastic bag, in total darkness, in a closet.
Resilience.
Who knows how many weeks? It's like, nah, I'm going. That's incredible.
Yeah, it's so cool.
Will eat anything. They'll eat anything.
In a good way.
In a good way. Yeah. Exactly. They,
they're the recyclers.
Yeah, they recycle all of the waste of nature into new life.
Which that was another one of the most amazing takeaways in the fantastic fungi. It was just mind blowing of how much is still left to be discovered.
Yeah,
it's really cool and exciting.
We've made it a requirement to work at the company to watch that movie. Everyone has to watch that movie.
Good requirement. Good requirement. Well, this has been super informative and so much new information, like I said, even for someone like myself who has been using functional mushrooms for many, many years, and just, bringing another level of awareness to what is possible in life, if we're looking to change or improve a health behavior or just try something new, to propel us forward in life. And so to kind of bring it back home to ever forward, when you guys hear those two words, what does that mean to you? How do you live a life ever forward? How does your work help others do this? Stephanie, start with you.
Sure. Well, the first thing that comes to my mind is, it's when you want to do something, when you're passionate about something, no matter what happens, you just keep going. And that's been a really big lesson for us, is launching a company. I don't really think enough people told us that shit was going to,
I'm glad they didn't.
so much shit was going to happen. But I tell myself every day, just one step at a time, one foot in front of the other. And also on a personal level, like we're always trying to grow and be better business partners, better friends, and better people. And just always, improvement. Like stagnation is not it. Just always continue the journey and, just never letting anything stop you. And I think, the way that our company helps people do that is by helping people be healthy and the best versions of themselves. They can show up in life and for their communities as the best, the best versions. So it's really exciting to be able to help people be healthy and happy and, do that for ourselves and our community. So
yeah, definitely.
And
on top of all that, to me, what I thought of was, it went back to changing like the medicine. Like I really see that mushrooms is going to be a massive shift in all kinds of medicine, moving from curative medicine to preventative medicine, and just pushing this our whole human race forward to our next generation of humankind that is connected with nature versus separate from nature. So I think that's going to be really, really awesome to move us forward and move ever forward.
Yeah. And, if all else fails, just throw some mushrooms down on the ground, soak up the shit in your life, and you got something new to move on with.
Totally.
Well, it's been a pleasure having you guys on the show. Thank you so much.
Thank you
for having us.
Yeah, it's
Very
been
welcome.
awesome.
We're going to, of course, have all of your information down in the show notes and video notes for everybody. But where can they go right now to connect with you guys the most, to learn more about mushrooms, Troop, everything you guys have to offer?
Yeah, the best would be our website. It's trytroop.com. So TRYTROOP.com. And then our Instagram also has a lot of information, a lot of
It's great, by the way. Beautiful.
Thank you.
It's so it's just like it's so pretty to look at.
Yeah,
that's fun.
It really goes with the theme of like making this fun.
And
we want
informative.
Exactly.
Exactly. We want it to be fun and informative. So that's at trytroop, TRYTROOP.
Cool. Yeah. Amazing. Well, thank you guys.
Thank you so much. It was a pleasure.